everybody set for Super Bowl 53. Guys, we need to get back to what we were discussing earlier, what's going on in the association. So here's the deal. The NBA hit Anthony Davis with a $50,000 fine after he said he won't sign an extension with the team and wants to be traded. Now, multiple league sources expect his camp to soon say that Davis' preferred destination is the Los Angeles Lakers, and he'll become a rental player until 2020 with a trade anywhere else. Stephen A., how much is LeBron to blame for all of this?
From what I'm hearing, he has some culpability in all of this. Because apparently Kawhi Leonard, Klay Thompson, Kevin Durant, and others were never a part of the equation as it pertained to LeBron James, joining LeBron James in L.A. From what I'm being told, LeBron James, it's not about Rich Paul, it's not about anybody else. LeBron James has personally spoken to Anthony Davis dating back to this summer, talking to him about the possibility of being in L.A. and all
game, recognized game,
all that it entails. Movies, endorsement deals, etc., etc. LeBron James has made this pitch. That had a lot to do with why Anthony Davis ended up being with Rich Paul. Do I know this to be true? No. I'm sure there are people in Rich Paul's camp and beyond who would deny this. And I don't know because I wasn't an eyewitness to it. But from what I have been told, LeBron James himself was communicating directly with Anthony Davis this previous offseason, which ultimately led to Anthony Davis signing on with Clutch Sports, Rich Paul, which obviously LeBron has a stake in, and as a result, that benefits all parties concerned. So in that regard, there is a level of culpability. But here's where it gets deep. And let me say this, Max, and then the floor is yours. I go back to LeBron James leaving for Miami. He earned the right to do what he wants. Any superstar that's in that position once they become a free agent has earned the right to do what they want. Even though LeBron James may have handled the PR of it all wrong, the bottom line is he did nothing wrong. But when you are in that position and you have that level of power and you think about just yourself in terms of how you want to speak on the matter, sometimes you miss the residual impact that it may have on others coming down the line. Yeah, Anthony Davis don't have us so much to worry about. Sure, fine, so be it. But you under contract. Now you got teams collaborating with the New Orleans Pelicans to help ensure that they won't be cooperative in getting him to the Lakers because they don't want Anthony Davis and other stars under contract having that kind of influence. The NBA hands down a $50,000 fine to a player because you publicized what your intent was, which was in violation of collective bargaining rules. Why would they suddenly do that? Because teams were calling and saying, you need to do something about this, NBA. So what you have is a situation where we have powerful, influential athletes, particularly of African-American descent, who have earned the right to do what they want in LeBron's case, but not necessarily the other guys who are still under contract trying to force their way out of situations they no longer want to be in. It has raised the antennas of owners and executives throughout the league. It's put a bullseye, a target on their back, and as a result, it's making it difficult for them to make the kind of moves that ultimately that usually would be easier. That ultimately brings us back to LeBron, because LeBron is clearly an iconic figure and arguably the most influential athlete we have seen in the modern era. The problem was in doing things the way in which he did it, no malintent whatsoever, just exercising his right as a human being, as a black man who's successful, business savvy, a savant. His brilliance can't be questioned. You were thinking about you. And in the end, the residual impact that it has on others, you might have missed that. And now you got billionaires and the people who work under them, along with leagues, coming for them just to let them know, you don't run us. It's going to be the other way around. And that kind of confrontation is something we need to keep our eyes on in the weeks, the months, and the years to come.
very influential book written decades ago by Marshall McLuhan called "The Medium is the Massage," or the message, meaning that the way you present something actually is the message of the thing. And LeBron could have done a better job, I think, packaging some of his messages, because that became the message to many. Right. I don't have a problem with it, but apparently the owners do. By the way, I want to focus in on the Lakers here. Sure. Same thing with the Lakers. Dr. Jerry Buss, the late great Dr. Jerry Buss, the greatest owner by far in the history of American team sports, won more than anyone else. Turned the Lakers from a distant second behind the Celtics to a far and away first in the modern era. 10 championships to 4 Lakers to Celtics. And he did it without making people hate him. Somehow the Lakers always got their guy. They always had Shaq and everybody else. And somehow all those Lakers, but no one tried to thwart Dr. Jerry Buss, because the medium was the message. He did it and made people feel good. He wasn't arrogant. And the Buss family lost that. I think Jeannie is trying to get that back now. And I want to focus in on how that affects this.
Sure.
LeBron James, Anthony Davis, whomever, I said it earlier in the show, the way the CBA is structured, if you're a max contract player, you're the greatest who ever did it, basically, in your chosen profession, which is incredibly competitive, NBA basketball, you have to stay in the same market, which you did not choose, for 7 years before you can really be a free agent, because if you leave before then, you leave money on the table. Now they have it where even if you wait the full 7 years when you leave, you lose $80 million. So, of course, people like Anthony Davis are saying, oh, I'm going to get traded in my 6th year so I can sign the Supermax with the new team, which is where I want to be. Teams are trying to thwart them. Well, we're going to trade you where you don't want to be. You're going to lose the money anyway. And I'm telling you right now, what's going to happen is what happened with Le'Veon Bell. The players know there's too much at stake to budge, and they are not going to budge to send the message to the owners. You can do that, but I want the team to know who's trading for me. That's a 1-year rental. You just empty the cupboards, all those assets. You're only going to have me for a year. I'm going to go to where I want anyway to spite you, to let you know going forward, you can't do this to us. Now, as this relates to LA, quickly, you know why the Lakers would cost however many billions of dollars, but the Bobcats didn't, or the Pelicans didn't? The market matters, and it's okay for players. Is the league really saying it's not okay for you as an individual, Anthony Davis, to decide whether it's the weather or Hollywood or whatever else, that the LA market and the Lakers brand is not only a deciding factor for you, but it becomes the deciding factor?
Right.
If the owners of the Pelicans and the Bobcats don't like it, get your money up and buy the Lakers. Well, until then, this is part of the deal.
Right. But here's the point. Hold on. Here's the important part. You didn't say a word that's wrong. Everything you said is right on the money, and I completely agree with you. But that's emotion. Here's the reality. The reality is that you have a 30-team league. And in a 30-team league, every city ain't the ATL. Every city ain't South Beach. Every city ain't LA, the Southern California sunshine. There's some Utahs mixed in the mix. Even in New York, there's Madison Square Garden in Midtown, and then there's Brooklyn with the traffic on Atlantic Avenue. You know, Toronto, there's a beautiful city, but damn it, if you ain't got global entry, you got a problem. You understand what I'm saying? So in other words, what I'm saying to you is that when you have 30 teams, it's not a crime for the league itself to sit up there and facilitate a manner in which we say, and I don't even want to get to that point. I'm going to give it to you. The point that I'm trying to make is that their objective is to make sure they created a forum in which everybody can get paid no matter where you are. There's a floor in which you have to spend. And so in other words, people can get the max wherever they are. So they did their part. I think that's important to mention. The other part that I wanted to mention was about LA. Paul George, before he gets traded to Oklahoma City, clearly wanted to go to LA. Everybody knew that. Magic should have gave up players to trade for him. He didn't do that. He wanted to wait till Paul George was a free agent. What happens? Rob Pelinka is under him. Paul George is represented by Aaron Mintz at the time. I think that's his name. Okay? Forget the fact that Paul George, y'all, did not go to Los Angeles. Paul George didn't even give the Lakers an interview. Think about that.
Because how you manage your brand matters.
But what I'm saying is how you manage, yes. So Magic having a GM, and I like Rob Pelinka, respect the hell out of him. I know how Kobe feels about him. Kobe raves about him. But there are enemies that man has, and that's gotten in the way of it too. So we understand the politics, whatever they may be.
I want to respond to your kind of global picture here about the way the NBA manages a 30-team league. If you buy the Pelicans or the Bobcats, you don't have to spend the billions more it takes to buy the Lakers. And yet, you share in revenue that the Lakers generate to a far greater degree than you generate. And in order to keep some kind of sense of competitive balance, players have no choice where they work out of college, the best players in the world, or even overseas once they enter the draft, and they have to stay there. The NBA keeps them there for between 6 to 7 years. The league is also now saying, if you ever want to choose the market you play in, it's going to cost you $80 million. And the players are saying, look, we get it. We need competitive balance. So we're working there for 6 or 7 years where we don't want to be. We understand if we have to leave, we give up money. We understand we didn't choose to go there. We understand that other teams help, like, pay the share the revenue so the smaller markets compete. We can have a league. But after 7 years, can we decide where we play without losing $80 million?
Wait a minute. With all due respect, you're tripping. And here's why you're tripping. Because the fact of the matter is that you're acting like the NBA and everybody else is averse to free agents deciding where they want to go. No, what they're saying is, Anthony Davis, you are under contract until 2020. You signed a contract, agreed to this money, said that you would stay here till 2020, and in 2019 you're trying to force us to send you to LA. They have a right to be averse to that. I'm not saying that if I'm Anthony Davis, I would not have done it. I'm saying the NBA, not the NBA.
Well, you know how the teams in the NBA.
They have a right to feel it. Hold on. You brought up baseball. Baseball, you got to go through the minor leagues before you go to pros. Okay? So what rights do they have to get you? Football, they come in. You got to stay in college for at least 2 years before you go to the NFL.
Then players use what they have available to them to exert pressure the other way. Oftentimes you bring up, hey, I agree with everything you're saying philosophically, but here's the reality of the way the world works, right? Well, the players are saying that to the owners too. We understand the letter of the law of the contract, but what we have available to us, Le'Veon Bell, I'll sit out the year to get to free agency. What we have available to us, says AD, is I'm going to let everybody know I don't want to be traded anywhere but the Lakers.
And I'm saying to you is that's fine, good and dandy, but you got about 5 to 7 superstars, but over 450 players. And those owners are basically letting you know that the actions of those 7 guys, 8 guys, 10 guys,
to put pressure
we're going to make sure it detrimentally potentially affects the other 440.
That's what ownership's been doing to labor since the beginning of time.
All right, and it's coming. And it's coming again.
On that note, we're here for the Super Bowl about 4 days away, and Bleacher Report ranked the top 5 players in it. And here, topping the list was Aaron Donald, followed by Tom Brady, Sony Michel number 3, with Todd Gurley and Jared Goff rounding out the top 5. Max.
Yep.
Aaron Donald, number 1. Should he be?
Yes. I mean, listen, Tom Brady still plays huge in big moments, but a lot of Belichick's design is to hide him a little bit, almost the way you hide Steph on defense in Golden State, right? Doesn't mean Steph's not great. So they're running the ball. Aaron Donald, the whole key to the game is going to get pressure up the middle. I agree.
I think Todd Gurley should be, Jared Goff should be number 3 on the list, because I think no matter how they run the football, how effectively LA runs the football, the Patriots are going to put you in a position where they're going to make the third-year quarterback beat them. I think that he's going to play a more pivotal role. He should be number 3 on the list, and I wouldn't mind problem with Tom Brady and Aaron Donald being flip-flop because of their importance to the outcome.
I agree with that, and this is where we disagree on the cornerback last year in the Super Bowl.
Malcolm Butler,
who didn't play. I really think Belichick was daring them. You think that he didn't have the best interest of the Patriots in mind. I think he did. I think he was daring them to try to have Foles beat him with his own.
Hell no.
And he did.
Hell no.
And I agree with you about Goff.
Hell no.
Belichick is going to dare Goff to beat him. It will come down in the end to Goff making plays.
You don't bench your starting corner to send that message. It was personal, and Belichick blew a Super Bowl because
I disagree.
Of it. Malcolm Butler.
Well, not for the first time.
Sony Michel ahead of Todd Gurley. That one surprised me a little bit, right?
I think it's because Gurley's compromised physically.
Yeah, I guess if they're just basing it on what's going on